Hello, welcome back to another tier list video. I thought I'd do another one. Just obviously, people have probably I've had a couple of comments saying like, "Why are you making so many? Why are you filming so many videos?" The answer to that question is because I've realised I haven't been posting as much as I would like to in the recent time. So I thought I should post quite a lot now, try and post quite a lot before I get to another stint where I can't go out and film. Today, for example, I was going to go out and see a Colas Rail test train, which I believe was 2 Class 43s. However, I could not because of the horrendous Storm Bert, that has hit the UK. I decided I wasn't going to risk it because it was snowing and sludgy and cold. So yeah, back with another tier list video. I decided it would be a good one to do. So today I am ranking every freight loco that has operated in basically since the 2000s or thereabouts. I can judge this one quite fairly because I've pretty much seen every kind of loco on this list, bar I think let me have a look. I think I've seen the 57, the DRS, just not moving. I've not seen the 58 or a 59, and I have seen 73s, but not like /9s or anything for GBRF. And then I haven't seen 86s, but apart from that, or 93. But apart from that, I've seen pretty much every other one. So I'm going to start off with the Class 37. As you can see, this is in the DRS livery. Oh, sorry. Just before I get into the video, I wanted to apologise about the football video yesterday. It was a complete disaster. The football video, I actually filmed it yesterday and posted it today. But I did have a bit of a disaster with that. Obviously, I confused myself, and also, if you can notice, I was sniffing quite a lot. I apologise. I've had a cold recently, so I was doing my best to not. But so yeah, sorry. Getting into the video, start off with the Class 37. I've never seen the DRS 37s, and obviously now I can never see them since they've been retired. However, 37s they operate for Rail Operations Group. They operate for Colas Rail. They operate for I think had the companies do that. I don't think they've. I think the West Coast Railways obviously have quite a few of them as well. There you go. But I mean, 37s are probably one of the best diesels in the world, or in the UK, if not the best. They have just such a nice noise, and it's actually kind of a unique noise. It does bring you back to that 1980s sort of vibe, and it's nice. It's really very a cool, very nice noise. And also, since they've been operating from 60 years ago, they are still here to stay. So I'm going to kick it off with a nice S tier. Now, moving on to the last sort of retired freight loco now, the Class 47. I don't know if they do any more drags. I know they do a lot of rail tours. I mean, I think the picture I've used here, I think, is from a Heritage Railway. Also, none of these pictures are mine, obviously, as you can see. I've just taken off the internet, so credit to everyone that took them. The 47s are a very nice train. They can have a very nice engine sound. Sometimes, I mean, they also operate for West Coast Railway still. British Rail have got them in the green livery and their blue livery. But I sometimes feel like they become a bit boring after a while when you see them constantly just on different rail tours all the time. I mean, obviously there's the workhorse backup loco on trains like the 66s for the workhorse for the freight these days. So I'm going to put the 47 in a C tier just because it's the bit of a boring choice. But I mean, if they mixed up rail tours with different diesel trains on the back of the steam trains and the other diesel trains, then it would be an interesting combination. Obviously 86s sometimes do top and tails and stuff, and the Northern Bells obviously just 257s most of the time. But anyway, moving on, we've got the first sort of still operating freight loco, apart from maybe excluding the 37, with the Class 56. I believe I've only seen this 3 times. I think I've seen it twice on locos, once actually coupled to a 70, and then I saw it once with a 37 with 2 snowplows, which was probably my coolest spot that wasn't a rail tour. And I really like 56s. They have very cool engine sounds, also on the same level as the 37. They do look a lot similar to the 47 and the 57, which is obviously done on purpose. That does get them down a little bit, but I think it's still an A tier train. That's a bit of a shame that they don't operate as much for other companies, and I would like to see them operating for DRS or Freightliner or something. I mean, I think some of them. I think 47's operated for Freightliner, and maybe 57s, but if 56s were on more companies, they would be a lot cooler. Now we'll move on to the counterpart of the 56, the 57, and these obviously operate for DRS. Technically, you could say that they have already completed that, and I'm going to put the 57 in A tier as well, because I think 57s are really cool. Like, obviously, they sit at Carlisle, and they there was a very nice guy at Carlisle, and he talked about how like once the 57 actually broke down when it was trying to do the recovery run on a Pendolino, and now this is an interesting fact. They actually have to test it daily, start it up, run it, and make sure it doesn't break down, because if it breaks down, then there's a bit of a crisis. So that's why I put it in A tier, because it's a fantastic loco, and like I've seen it a couple of times, and it's a phenomenal train. I've seen obviously them from the Northern Belle, so yeah, that's a great train too, and I have cabbed one as well, and they're very nice. Now we'll move on to a bit of a interesting train, the Class 58, the Bone. I'm pretty sure there's only one left operating. I've seen it move in recent times, but on Heritage Railways, and I quite like the 58 design. It's quite similar to the 70. It's a combination of like these two with the 7 and the 70s like middle. So I'm gonna put not an F tier. Sorry, I'm gonna put the 17. Sorry, not 70. The 58 in B tier. I haven't seen it, and I don't know what operator it is now under. But I would have loved to have seen these when they operated. It's such a shame that they got taken out after such a short stint. But credit to them for operating, and it would have been nice to see them become a workhorse like the 66. And now we'll move on to the 66's counterpart, the 59. Obviously 59s came and then 66s did. I don't really know why they made the 66s after the 59s, so if you want to let me know, please do. But I do like the 59. That's one of the trains I haven't seen on this list. I think the 58 is the first one I haven't seen. But the 59 is quite nice. This livery specifically is very unique. I mean, if you look at the liveries, it's probably the most similar one is DRS. But the Yeoman's livery is quite good on it, and I'm going to put it in B tier for it. And like, I would love to see 59 someday. I think they operate for like GBRF and maybe DB Cargo as well. Yeah, 59 B tier, fantastic loco, with especially in that livery. That livery is probably my favourite livery on a 59. And now we'll come on to the Class 60. I've only seen this once for GBRF, and obviously Colas Rail I think had one for a while, but that's now I think GBRF owned. But it's really sad to see that the the 60s have been retired, and like EWS and I think DB Cargo, and like the S&C of grey kind of livery, and it's sad to see them all sat in the scrapyard. I really hope someone buys them and tries to restore them, because they just don't deserve to be sent away this quickly. Like their nickname Tug, and they still have I think DB Cargo had them for a while, and they still had a couple runs, but they 60s didn't like get the run that they deserve. So I'm going to put the Class 60 in A tier as well, not ahead of them. I think 60s are fantastic, and I really like them. Might try and get a model of them for my layout, which would be quite a good addition. Go alongside my 92 quite well. Now move on to the Class 66, and I could be controversial with this. I have mixed feelings about it. For operators like EWS and Freightliner and GBRF, I love them, like especially for GBRF with all the mixed liveries. But I think for DRS, I'm quite bored of them, because they constantly just come past my area on the Tesco Express, and it's just basic and boring. But because the GBRF have so many different liveries, and they're more rare in Freightliner and what's the other operator says, EWS, that's the one. I think that gets them up a bit, so I'll put them in C tier, because there's like I think 480 of them operating in the world, and the main operators are good, but DRS I'm not a fan of, just because they're too common around. But moving on to the Class 67, which I believe doesn't really operate freight anymore, apart from the RHTTs for Colas Rail. I've only seen the 67s once, and it was on the Bellman Pullman. And I really like them, and I would like to see like the Queen's Messenger at some point. That would be cool. And I'm going to judge it based off the freight work, and I do really like them in the EWS livery, so I'm going to put them in C tier ahead of the 66, because I do really like the general design of the 67. The horn is quite nice, the liveries are nice, and also I think it adds up because of the passenger services it has, because of the Bellman Pullman and like the Queen's train or the King's train as well. And that also is why that 66 is behind the 67, because even though it's got this Royal Scotsman, I've seen that many times before as well, and it's not that cool a train because it's basically just a regular freight train working a passenger service, just not. The 67 obviously operates passenger services too for Transport for Wales, but those are quite cool, like the DVT sets, so that gets that up a bit too. Moving on to DRS, Class 68. DRS only operator of the 68s, and I think the 68s are really cool. Like, what I've stood next to one once, it was on like a double-headed engineering train, and when it came through, it started thrashing, and it felt the ground was vibrating. It was like I could feel a pulse through my head. They're very intimidating, but I really like them, so I'm going to put them in S tier. No, actually, no, I'm going to put them in A tier, just ahead of the 60s, because they are fantastic. They're really cool, they're modern, and I'm glad they still up. I'm really sad that they got rid of them in ScotRail, but Chiltern Railways have salvaged them, and they deserve to stay. They're intimidating, but they are really, really cool locos, and they deserve to stay for quite a while. Moving on to the Class 69, and as you can see, I have used a livery that I've seen, which I think is 69009, the Western Consort, I think. And I really like the 69s for GBRF. I think there's only like 13 or 14 of them, but the liveries that they have for them are really cool. Like, they've got the, I think it's G69002's got a nice livery. I think it's 001 as well. Obviously the one I've got 009 here. And they're all different, and like some of them are in just regular GBRF. But even then, like 69001s, I think got the UK flag on it, the United Kingdom flag on it. So yeah, 69s I'm a massive fan of. This I saw it on a drag with a 360, which was another train I'd actually never seen, which was really cool. So I'm going to put the 69 in A tier ahead of the 60. Next up, Class 70. I actually am going to put the 70 in S tier. Also, actually, going to put the 68 in S tier as well. I think I've ranked my in my head the 158 is my favourite train, and then it's the 70 and then the 68, because I think they're all really cool diesel trains. Like the 70s have a nice sound, like they're obviously a bit more designed off like an American style train, and I think the 70s are very cool trains. They're a bit boring when you like see them on that rubbish collateral journey from like Aberdeen to Grangemouth, I think, or something. I can't remember where it is. No, I like 70s a lot. I like the Freightliner ones especially. They're very cool, and that's why they get up to S tier and probably will stay top of S tier. With, I know the 37s have dropped back a bit, but 37s are incredibly cool to me, just not as cool as these two. Next up, Class 73. I haven't seen any GBRF ones. I've just seen the Caledonian Sleeper ones, and I do quite like them. I love the names. Like I've got 73204, like /2. I think the /1s, and then you got /9 here. I really like 73s. I'm gonna put the 73 in C tier though, just because it's not as cool as the other trains. They are very nice. They have a nice horn. Sometimes they have funny horns, and they obviously run a lot of service. Like they run at RHTTs. They run the Network Rail test trains. They run Caledonian Sleeper. And there's also cool liveries of them. Like I think there's one in BR Blue. There's a Southern one. I think they obviously operate on other lines like the Gatwick Express. I think it's Gatwick Express in the Intercity livery. So yep, 73s will go C tier. And then we come to, I believe it's our first electric train. Yeah, our first electric freight train, the Class 86, operated for Freightliner for quite a few years, and then I think obviously they were replaced by the Class 90. But I honestly think I prefer the 86s. I know the 90s carry that like orange livery, which is also cool, and I think that would have suited the 86s. But I think the 86s are better. They're cool. It's a shame they got like removed, and it's nice that they get sent to like other countries. I think they got sent to Bulgaria. I like 86s. I would like to see the 86259 La Rosse at some point. That would be quite cool. I've seen them go speed quite a lot, and the Caledonian Sleeper 86401. So I'm gonna put the 86 in A tier ahead of the 60. The 60s can probably drop back a couple more. Then I come to the 88, to the RS 88. I'm going to put the 88 in C tier. Yeah, Because the 66, the reason I'm dropping it further, much further back, actually I'm going to drop it to D tier, and the reason I'm dropping it so far back from the 68, its diesel counterpart, is because that diesel element is what makes the 68 so good. Having an 88 is just like obviously more environmentally friendly, but just ruins the kind of train itself. Like the 68 is the diesel sound is the reason that it gets up so high for me. And just having a boring electric one is just not cool. The only livery I like on it, I think it's 88. I can't remember what number it is, but it's like a kind of silvery grey livery. That's quite nice. But apart from that, no, 88s don't do it for me. Moving on to another electric loco now, because the high numbers, all the trains pretty much left are electric. So we got the Class 90. As I said, I prefer the 86s over them. But the 90 gets B tier, so it is not far behind, probably ahead of the 59 and 58 for me, because the 89 is a really cool, 90 is a really cool loco, because the horn is so cool. It runs rail tours with the 90-001 and 002. They're obviously like, they used to operate for like Greater Anglia, and they're really very nice locos. They look intimidating, and they have like a little grin across their face almost, and I'm glad Freightliner's kept them, because they're obviously also being retired too. I don't know why, like, we've got so many diesel trains talking about environmentally friendliness, and yet we're like replacing all of our electric trains with like diesels. But I'm glad that Freightliner's got these double headers where they have had 90s and they've had 86s as well. So yeah, B tier for the 90. And then penultimately, another retired freight loco, the Class 92. Obviously, GBRF still got a few of them, and so have DB, but EWS haven't got any of them anymore, and it's just like the Caledonian Sleeper basically for them. But the 92 for me is going to go in S tier. The design is so nice. The liveries are really nice. They suit the train, and I really like. I've seen it once. I have seen the Caledonian Sleeper at 92. Annoyingly though, it was actually Edinburgh Waverley, and as I got off my train, it literally departed, and I couldn't catch the top of it. But 92s are just very nice locos. They haven't had the service that they deserve. They deserve to have stayed for longer, and they just haven't, and I'm really sad about that. But I'm going to put the 92 in S tier and give it that rating that it deserves, which leaves us with one train, the Class 93. You might want to ask, why have I put this in here? Because, for example, I think it's Grand Union Rail or Union Rail or something are operating a service from Stirling to London Euston, and that's a passenger service, and I believe that they've actually announced they might be using 93s. So why have I put the 93 on here? Mainly because it's ROG, a bit like the 37, and I don't really know if it's going to be used for the freight routes, but I thought I'd put it in here anyway, just in case. I don't know if I can judge the 93 as much. I don't know if I like the design or not. It looks kind of strange. It looks a bit too modern for this era. But, I mean, then you got trains like the 745 and 755 and the 720s, and they look very modern for this era. I don't know if there's much to say about it at this moment in time. So just for now, I'm going to put it D tier. Because I like the design-ish. It's kind of unique, but there's not much to say, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And that's my completed tier list. That's so unbalanced. I added the E and F tier in, but I don't know why, because everything is just D tier and above. But I love all the trains on this list. It's a shame that not all of them are models. I mean, I've got a 90 model, I've got a 37 model, a 92 model. I don't think I've got any of them. I've got a 66 model and a 73 model as well. And I've got a 47 model as well, and I've had a 67 model, but it's a shame that not all of them are in model form. But let me know what you would make changed to this tier list. I apologise that I made another tier list video, but I'll probably post this out Sunday, which will probably be today for you, even though it isn't for me. But thank you all for watching another tier list video. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know if you want me to keep putting out these videos, because I love making them, and I am happy to make them whenever I get the chance. I don't know if the content will dry up at some point. I'm just trying to push out content until I can't. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you for the next video. And yeah, that's all. Cheerio.